Hi, my name is Maria Kwong, and I am the person in charge of the store at the Japanese American National Museum. And I just wanted to share with you this new book that we've put out, and it's called Citizen USA, and it's by Charles Ferguson. It's a very interesting book because it was actually written in Manzanar back in 1942, but it was never published. So we've decided we have the manuscript in our collection, and I felt like it would be a really good book to make and to share with everybody. So I'm going to read it to you, and you tell me what you think. Citizen USA. I am Jane Sato. I was born in Hollywood, California. These are my parents. My father's name is Albert Sato. My mother's name is Mary Sato. Mommy was born and raised in Hollywood too. These are my grandparents, Frank and Taki. They came to America 13 years ago. They came because they wanted to be free and to have a chance to live better. Over a year ago, the Army took us away from our house in Hollywood and brought us to Manzanar, away off in the desert. This is my house. My daddy said we could leave here and go to Chicago or Cleveland or someplace if he could find a job. Then he will bring us out with him. The paper says we are an insult to America, but we are Americans too. Why am I an insult? At school in Hollywood, we had all kinds of children, but here all I see is Japanese children. The mountains are pretty here, but it's awfully hot and dusty. We have dust storms every week, and it's so dry my skin is chapped all the time. We've been treated all right, but what's going to happen to us? We were born in America, and this is our country. We salute the flag every day. I'd like to see the airplanes across the road, but I can't because the soldier won't let me go past the fence. At home in Hollywood, I used to watch my mommy bake and cook, and I could help her get dinner. But here, we have to wait in a long line before we get to eat. Everybody in our block eats in the same mess hall. Uncle John is in the United States Army. He says he's fighting for his country and for democracy. Sometimes at night I have to wee-wee and I'm afraid to go out in the dark alone, so I have to wake my mommy and get her to take me to the bathroom that everybody in the block uses. We want to go back to live in America again. America needs everybody now. My house here isn't pretty, like my house in Hollywood, and there are lots of families living in each barrack. Mommy says it is hard to keep clean. She says if they can put us in here like this, they could put the Negroes or the Chinese or the Mexicans or the Jews or anyone else in too. Uncle Paul says he isn't going to join the Army, even though he doesn't have anyone to take care of. He says, they moved him out of his home and they made him lose his job and all his money. They wouldn't draft him like the other men because he was a Jap. He says no one loves America more than he does, but he is very disappointed and is losing his faith in America. My daddy says he could join the army too, but he has a family to look after, so he is a high school teacher for $19 a month. My daddy says he has faith in America, and he knows that the people inside and outside the centers will do their part. I have faith in America too. I like to go down to see the bus leave when people go out on relocation. My daddy says most people are afraid to go out because some of the papers talk so badly about us. Why can't we come back? There aren't many of us. Isn't America still democratic? Now that's the end, but there's a lot more to this story. When I first started working at, actually just in Little Tokyo, I did another exhibition about children's books and Japanese American authors and illustrators. And at that time, there was a book called The Journey by Sheila Hamanaka. And it was the only children's book, illustrated children's book, about the incarceration of Japanese Americans. There were so few books for children about the Japanese American camp experience. The museum, they said, oh, well, we have a book that just came into our collection, and it was written in Manzanar in 1942, and that just kind of blew me away because I thought, wow, that was the first children's book about camp, but it had never been published. So when I saw it, and I saw that it had been done by one of the teachers, well, he wasn't just a teacher, he was the director of education in Manzanar, and his name was Charles Ferguson. He had a family, an actual family in camp as his models. So there's the little girl, Jane Sato, and then her parents and her grandparents. And so I thought, wow, this is so interesting. Who are these people? Because I thought he had used, that this was a, true sort of biography. But it turns out that there was no family with that name and with that last name that had the same matching first names. So he really did sort of create the characters himself. So I got to meet the son of the author and spoke to the son and two other siblings about, the father's story and how Charles became interested in writing this book and, how wrong he felt the incarceration was. Well, thank you for letting me share this story with you, and I hope that from this you will learn how important it is to share stories about even difficult subjects with people, because you never know what you will inspire in somebody else's thinking.